Same city, same street, but for the people in it, two very different countries. Colombia is not the only nation where there are rich and poor, but here the inequality gap is one of the worst in the Western Hemisphere. The poorest 20% earns nearly 30 times less than the wealthiest 20%.
We have a great life, but we live in a bubble.
The poorest people are the happiest.
Amparo Ramirez would not agree, as she and her 14-year-old son struggle to carry their washing machine home. She rents it for $2.50 for 3-hour intervals to residents of one of Bogota's poorest neighborhoods.
This is where one of my clients lives.
Amparo fled to Bogota from the countryside 11 years ago with her 6 children after her husband was killed by a paramilitary group. When she's not renting her washing machine, she sews, sometimes until 4 in the morning to make just enough to pay the rent.
My son hasn't learned a trade because we can't afford higher education, so he has to work to help me.
19-year-old Jaime has in fact been working 6 days a week since he was 14 for only $220 a month. He shows us his calluses from making wooden boxes. He says he doesn't mind working so that the younger ones can study. Colombia is often described as one of Latin America's oldest democracies, yet it has been living in ongoing armed conflict for more than 50 years. A country where more than 10% of the population has been displaced by the violence, and where the richest 1% owns more than half of the land. And inequality is not just measured by the difference in income. Congressman Iván Cepeda says it's also about access to the state.
No tiene acceso a los servicios públicos.
The poor have no access to public services, to the justice system. Some have not even been able to obtain an identification card. They don't exist as citizens.
A vicious circle of inequality passed on from generation to generation, as Amparo Ramirez and her children know all too well. Lucia, Newman, Jazeera, Bogota.